Our distraction is usually driven by our desire to escape discomfort, including boredom, fear, and anxiety. That was Nir Eyal, a man who has spent the last 5 years researching and writing about deeper psychology of distraction. A quick search on Wikipedia states that distractions come from both external and internal sources. External distractions include factors such as visual triggers, social interactions, music, text messages, and phone calls. There are also internal distractions such as hunger, fatigue, illness, worrying, and daydreaming. In short, both external and internal distractions contribute to the interruption of focus. Okay, but how much of interruption? Well, according to Professor Gloria Mark from the University of California, it takes an average of 23 minutes and 15 seconds to return to the original task after an interruption. Also, research done at London's Institute of Psychiatry found that persistent interruptions and distractions at work had an overwhelming effect on people's IQ. Those distracted by emails and phone calls saw 10-point fall in their IQs. Now that it's clear distraction has profound impact on our works and intelligence, let's dive deeper into both types of causes of distraction. Like most of the problems in your life, distraction is something that resides within you. Tell me if this has ever happened to you. You have your book in front of you. You are supposed to be studying that book, but for some reason your mind is thinking about something that has nothing to do with what you are supposed to be studying at that moment. Maybe you're thinking about that favorite restaurant of yours that you want to visit, but that is closed at the moment. Or maybe you're just thinking about what you will be doing after the whole pandemic and lockdown situation is over. Either way, you are distracted. But why are you distracted? What's the cause? Well, there's this phenomenon called mind wandering. Mind wandering is a spontaneous shifting of attention of thoughts from a primary task that can happen in varying degrees. It is an unintentional and unrelated shift that occurs when the mind tends to regale in varied thoughts, which can disrupt the ongoing task performance, like in our example, the task of studying we just discussed. Mind wandering was earlier known as daydreaming, fantasy, or flights of fancy. Research has shown that people often spend 46.5% of their waking time mind wandering during everyday tasks, temporarily losing track of time, place, or current task. Individuals tend to engage in more sorrowful and future-related thoughts during mind wandering. So far, not a lot of conclusion has been obtained about the actual causes of mind wandering, but research has been done on continual basis. If you want to know about one of those researches, you can click the link in the descriptions. But for now, let's have a look at some of the symptoms of mind wandering and the ways to prevent them. So, here are some of the symptoms of mind wandering, and guys, comment down below if you can relate to any of these. 1. Lack of awareness of surrounding environment due to preoccupation with own thoughts. 2. Comprehension failure during reading and listening. 3. Inability to focus. 4. Lack of attention. 5. Depression. 6. Sleep disturbances. 7. continually losing or misplacing things due to forgetfulness. 8. Inability to deal with stress. Now that we have seen some of the symptoms, let us look at some of the ways to prevent the phenomenon of mind wandering that causes us to be distracted from the task on hand. First, focus on one task at a time. Second, set reminders to check whether you are still focused on your task. Third, give your mind more to do. Research has shown that adding deliberate distractions actually reduces distractibility. Fourth, get enough sleep. Fifth, create a routine for an entire day. External distraction is quite a common form of distraction known to most people. It could range from a simple text on your smartphone to a loud protest going on in your area. Distraction is everywhere. So, let's look at some of the categories of external sources of distraction. The smartphone is easily the main source of distraction in the digital age. In fact, I would argue a majority of people are even addicted to their smartphones. Some examples are apps like Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. The Global Web Index says people now spend more than 2 hours each day on social networks on an average. That extra time is facilitated by smartphones and apps. Liminal moments are the transitional period when you switch from one task to another, and a lot of time can be wasted during these liminal moments. Let me give you a quick example. Suppose you are taking a break from your studies. Therefore, you go to the kitchen for a quick snack. So, you take your phone with you as you are on your break. Now, using your phone during the snack break is a transitional activity, so it's not supposed to be lasting for more than 10 minutes. But what ends up happening is that you keep using your phone even after your break is over, and that 10-minute break turns into an hour of distraction. So, the visual trigger could be anything visible to you that takes away your focus from what you are supposed to be doing at the moment. This is pretty simple. Examples of this could be bird you see outside your window while you are studying, or getting distracted by a picture on the wall, etc. There is not a lot to be said about this because most of the points about internet is covered by the first point on the smartphone discussed earlier. But one thing is clear, if not used at proper durations, the internet could be a huge source of distraction from the task at hand. Social interaction is not in itself a bad thing, but once again, the point to be considered is the length of interaction. A short and healthy social interaction every now and then is always a good thing, but often people take this to the extreme when they get caught up in useless arguments on topics like politics and government that are not going to have any direct positive impact on achieving their goals. Okay, now you know the various types of distractions around you. But what next? Only knowing the problems is never going to be enough for improvement. I wish we had a step-by-step guide for getting a handle over our distraction. I wish we had actual practical tips for overcoming distraction that we could apply right away. Well, believe it or not, There are step-by-step guides and practical tips for overcoming distraction in real life. So, let me explain them to you. Step 1. Click the subscribe button. Step 2. Click the bell icon. Once you do these two things, you will be among the first persons to get notification when the next video drops on this channel, and that video will be on the topic of practical tips to overcome distraction.